dar deanga cúcis, agus gohfuil sé bhar fad in o'r slitse difrúla déana bhíreachta sanna teanga. Cyn a caifn agus a cohu, agus cyn an grata agidi a rhaint leis an pobl mór. Agus gael mid caifnú, nach bhfuil an seaniu a cuid bheog da pobl I bhad ní slehena, atá ag úsáid a gud Ghaiilge láni ag lé, agus trina nia hampla agus a ganasiacht, ag ciantlu go meid an seanga slán agus trim den glún atá le teocht. Rud atá táhacht an héna ón táhacht atá buint leis an seanga mar nasca. Ní lór go meach sé mar sort ag déanamh tócamach ar cúpla uair sa seachtain nó cúpla uair sa bhliain. No winnin sé leis an támat a caite. Winnin leis an nóbit atá anna faoi lóthe agus ach gur háirithe leis an sochaí. And I will say this in English because it is very important that everyone understands it very clearly. We are not only here to celebrate the language as some kind of survival or like some antique that is taken out for show on occasion. We're here because the language is one of the most important instruments we have, both in terms of the cognitive and the aesthetic, as Paul would have, a writer I was speaking about earlier, Paul Cronin would say, it is something that enables us to link the past, the present, and the future. I see all those young musicians that you've been hearing, and all the people all around the country are speaking the Irish. As people, this philosopher would say, they're firing arrows at the future. So it's not only about the past, or only about the present. It is about the future we want. Proud to be part of the world, part of Europe, part of down our fought, and that's what it is all about. Tá ceangal fuile idir áras san Uachtaráin ó nídir troch a hUigínn ag agus dóglas de híide ar géad Uachtaráin. Léach den teanga. Bhí sé mar duine de bhanathirí de canan an Ghaeilge agus mar Uachtaráin an éagraigh sin ó má bhunaí go dtíon bhliain sa cúitia. Níos lúthaimniú bhí rainn seaman as acin chun an críomhain íomh na Comóra. Láróid na merle ar fad hamalín beag chun an gotiga gachtainna an rud a bhír stúlagin. Before you all arrived today, we had two short ceremonies to honour the memory of Douglas Hyde, President of Conradh Ghaeilge from its foundation until 1915, and of course, in 1938, the first President of Ireland. The first of these ceremonies was very special, and was the result of a letter that I received from Mrs. Marjorie Ghairdín late last year. Ms. Ghairdín's father, Fred Dixon, was a well-known Englishman and collector who started working for the newly formed Meteorological Office in Dublin before the Second World War, and he was a keen collector of coins and medals, and he and his wife Beatrice would frequent house auctions, antique shops and jumble sales both in Ireland and when on holiday in England. At some stage he came across and bought a collection of medals won by Douglas Hyde between 1880 and 1887 while he was studying at Trinity College. After Fred Dixon died in 1988, he left his medal and coin collection to his daughter Marjorie, with the hope that she or his grandchildren might have an interest in them. As the children were very young at the time, the collection was put away for years. Recently, when all the family were gathered, the many boxes were taken out and re-examined, and the Douglas Hyde medals were noted to be of particular significance. And earlier today, I was pleased to receive on behalf of the Irish people the following 5 medals, which have been donated by Marjorie Ghairdín and her family. The George Plunkett Medal for Irish Writing, awarded to Douglas Hyde in 1880. The Gold Medal for Modern Literature, awarded in 1884. The Gold Medal for History, awarded in 1886. The Silver Medal for Oratory, awarded by the Dublin University Historical Society in the 1886-87 academic year. And the Gold Medal for Composition, awarded by the Dublin University Historical Society in 1886 and 1887. Marjorie and her family are with us today, and as President of Ireland, I would like to thank you most sincerely for your generosity and for your civic-mindedness in making these much prized medals available for others in the future and today to enjoy in perpetuity here at Áras an Uachtaráin. The medals are currently on display in the State Reception Room in the House, and I hope you have a chance to We also had a ceremony this morning unveiling a plaque on a building that we have named Siomra the hUigínn, or the Hyde Room, and I dedicated a tree to Douglas Hyde in honour of his contribution to Ireland as an Ghairdín and as the first Uachtaráin na hÉireann. I also therefore want to warmly welcome the members of the Seeley family, direct descendants of Douglas Hyde, who are with us today, and they have also attended these ceremonies earlier. Fíorcinn fáilte romh, gur míle maith Douglas Hyde's enthusiasm for the Irish language and his sense of outrage at the attitude towards the language, and by extension to Irish culture and the Irish people, exhibited by Trinity College of that time, led ultimately to a very public parting of the ways between him and Trinity College. I think without this undoubtedly affected the relationship for a while with his alma mater. Some amends were made when the college, having developed a new attitude to the Irish language following independence, in 1933, conferred Douglas Hyde with an honorary Doctor of Literature in recognition of his work in Ghaiilge and his contribution to Celtic studies. And in that spirit of reconciliation, I was delighted that Professor Damien McManus, Ceann Ryan na Ghaeilge sa Cóisir, Professor Liam Dowling Cahila Cuiste na Ghaiilge, and Angus Dwan, the Irish Language Officer for Trinity College, were able to be with us for the presentation earlier. Is gan buigas lobos and metatá shivayanov as an Ghaiilge Cóisir Ghaiilge. Smuoine bhí agam mada leis an Cóisir seo tá ná seansa thuair doin uair níireachtaí a aithint agus a ciúra, agus tá nó teanamh a bhaintas an siamsaíocht iontach atá chur fáil timpeallacht an áras. Bhí an rúna agam féin im léan agus muid a déanamh comóra ar éirí amach na coscanéid sa séideag. Bé mar le leaga ar an Ghaeilge agus ar úsáid na Ghaeilge. Can áhananta sa thuairt an ró lárnach a bhí an teanga, agus a gabheoch na teangan I bhís na raibhlódathe céad bhliain ó hen. Camála sin bhí sa géirí, deis sa thuairt ó in Ilja, beag ganín macni bheith dhéanamh ar an óitain a bhfuil leis an teanga, céad bhliain a ní gnáire amach. Mar cuid an corchuige sin, bhí deis an freastal ag roinnt bháchaid in ar an Ghaeilge mar cuid lárna díab. Laureas fueron na teangan as anúca na teangas sa glún raibhlóideach, agus film ar an ábhar sin ar bá, bhí deisiam, Machna bhí dhéanamh ar stad na teangad sa látá Yuan, agus na rudí dearfacha, agus na nehi joltacha atá ag dal in rí ehe. I mé bealtana bhí mar ag ciúra le céile, saibhris na cumarsáide tríbhán na Ghaeilge, ag íthe rádam cumarsáide na rachta sem mór na trá. Tagar sé an a sásaf them, an áirt cai Jonathan buinte amach ag TG Carr, radio na Gaeltachta, RT, BBC, agus na stáisiún radio eile ina Ghaeltóireachta na Ghaeilge. I rinne bliana comórtha se mar hampla, níl doubtar beagam, a go raibh na chláracha bar ar an éirí amach Ghaelta tríbhán na Ghaeilge. Bhí anna lá ag in mála fuairne agus i gúlé comórtas pella na Gaeltachta cúpla seachtaina hen, chuir deas am a crí go bhfuil peadar a riadéilíonn agus muintear cúlé. Deanta le éagán a ferry bhí me ó ní lá sin, Uachtaráin Common Lucas Gael agus Micheál a Muirchertig. Now, Louis bhí déna caite faoi cuasaí soccer a deireadh seachtaina. Bhí an talm sa héin madar le Douglas de Héta. Mar cuir a gas an cuman Lucas Gael Douglas de Héta gur freistal sé clifa soccer. Bhí Seanti a Calig an rud a Richard le cuman Lucas Gael agus bhí an priflid ag am héin láirt an ar a colm ciile ag cógáil cuman Lucas Gael gabléna hen. Tá an berte tá áthas aram go bhfuil mar a gúirt méid gáí fearil cuman Lucas Gael agus Micheál an muirceart ag léocht an Ghaeilge féin agus na cuairsa deirteachta. Comórtas ínteach a bhí an hísa mar a bhúrna agus do bhfuil sé glandar am a críonn mé daoine óga a bhí buinte a bhí anas ag buint teanamh as an síl agus as a gluthaí gúchais trefán na Ghaeilge. Tá gin cuairt go minic Gael scailne fad na tíre. Ní cuireann sé íontas ar bearm go bhfuil borach go mór san tácha líon na Gael scailne. Níor écinn tú cé coheasca is a héanpáistí óga in leit leis an teanga. Tuige mé ile na bontáistí a héin leis an éal teangachas. Agus cá mé a cumad a gcuidne gur is seach teanga líofa ag Douglas de Héta. Tá méadú ola bhar tácha líon na dismóirí tá leireh bhuain dá theangachas nó in alltheangachas a leid dá báistí. Is léir go bhfuil éileh inis bhreis meánscaile chun go méid deisiigh na daltaí bunscaile seo leanach lóin lena cuidítachas trabhán na Ghaeilge. Agus is ceart agus is cóir go mbeadh an deis sin acha mar ceart. Tá fisan go bhfuil feachta sin i leis sin ar bhan le hí ar bhan scaile na Ghaeilge bhainú bort líosta i máile an colig corcaig i máile ar clíos cúideag i ggéilthe dar a thuig i gan am airis lígach agus i dúscart cáthar corcaí. Tuiginn go bhfuil feibin a fósach a siúd atá déanamh gach iirecht scaile na bhainniú chun an éileh seo hásamh. Tá an ceisián céine pléiteach am leis an tíiseach le déana agus disrig mé an bhfuil slitse chun na bachanna seo a bhaint ó iireachtaí fabalé Suleiman scaléir a chur a fáil trefán na Ghaeilge agus lena mé le ma iireachta. Cénach bhfuil rólam féin i gúrsa polasaitachas, déirín gur asna faoi léithí mar ar féidir leis an stát, idachas a chur fáil trí theanga i fagúil na tíre seo. Níos luthas sa bhliain, leabhríos le comisisinéirí teanga ó hir a éasúile ag seminar ar achtála gan osca náisiúnta na héireann an Aileamh. Tá go leor le fálaman ón gur chuige atá a bhaim i dtírí eile chun a deanga ca cuignú sa leanú úsáid nó chun feabhsa cá ar saláthar servíisi stát. Tá sé carástam héin le blianta fada, go bhfuil aspa éigean in ar stát córas máda le sam eicteach na Ghaeilge ag na leibhéilis irde. Ón a ran, tá sin tóbhachta. Ón a ran a rialta sé súile agus a meascár daiminig na núdar as áitiúil agus agri stát. Is an a bheith clistear an Ghaeilge agus dálam féin tá feib cultúra éigeanna chur sríonar an góras agus a rithigh sinseachas sa córas an ceannacht amach buid ag sú leis a haspáint agus ar cóidómh a haspáint. Ní féidir len an dálam a lóg a glacu a cáimid é thógant darsúile agus an ceiste chur ar an héin. An le sciúlacht at bháin atá i gceist. Agus tá sé le airtáil is ón cuí an coheascas atá sé le daine ar athairis sé dhéanamh ar roméis agus seafóid roid i tíobeachta ó achtracha as a ganám céine na deachtrachtaí atá an madar leis an Ghaeilge féin agus i úsáid. Ní héanach bhfuil buin áir aginbait madar leis an Ghaeilge, nach bhfuil a gráin teanga céile. Úsáid an seanólathe teanga slata hóis éasúile chun rá theanga bheas agus ina measc. An measc sin tá takeíoch stát a gceist agus takeíoch phobal. Tá an tá orinne in seanéirin go bhfuil an dá crítéir sin le sonró gás na Ghaeilge. Sa stát seo ag ascart an a státas banreacht túl mar theanga náisiúnta ifigúil, tá cosan tugad an Ghaeilge san ilomad rachtíochta a achtaí carna blianta, agus tá ach na jangacha ifi gulgafile sa trí ach go háirithe mar crán tacha láidir aici. Ach mar is óldóin, ní hanan an de lí agus an deachil, agus an ceanarach atá teastáil, agus ceapin go bhfuil ceistan a dá rire le curmáda leis an aspa deathala réimsí áirithe den start chorus. Tá me anracúil faoi sin. Don cuidéile den blian, tá chun ma áda cuimád ar cuasaí Ghaeilge agus tuile phlé dhéanamh na féidirachtaí agus nó dúchláin atá roim máda leis an teanga. Ag brathán siar. An géad blian ná am a raibh an glún réiflóideach ag phlé cuasaí teanga. Is léir go bhfuil roinnt wabhain seamach in réna tréimhse sin. Níl ísa gaman raibh Ghairdín parties ag an Lord Lieutenant Lord Winburn, le linn saoirigh néta sa séideag, ach gach seans go gcuireadh sé scán réir, go gaiarpa sé céad bhliain is déine, go mbeadh Uachtaráin a héir in a greachtáil Cóisir in Ghaeilge in a Ghairdín féin. Har blian behéile, agus muid a camór agus a cinliúra céad blian ó aireamach na cosca néidir sa séideag, tá cúshmhórtha seagadh ar fad. Bhí achmhócan na Ghaeilge na príomháin na ceannarí an aireamach, bhí cúgart an seachtar hínig an órógra gníomhach a ganran na Ghaeilge, agus bhí cudmhór den idéile bhí acha déirin banathe ís déirin neas splácha amach a cheanga lára agus scríte féin aci. Nehef jak mar vonclocha dal cultar. Ar janga karin teifle culturelle. Swinim gohore her hion victirme das litrum. Agus a litter a dair a scríise chuig a drahúracha agus a draharacha ag impu ar an Ghaeilge fúna da báiste. Tell them how I struck out for myself and counsel them to always practice truth, honesty, straightforwardness in all things and sobriety. If they do this and remember their country, they will be all right. Insist on their learning the language and history. Is few and cash the car matomit levet machanta, on botun vini an iraktihan of an barely yibert der fad, agus an Ghaeilge carnal. On yard now on Corcuigishin, Nismo Bader, Docker Don Irakti Ghaeilge Spraga Rurith in Archgate Sulia, is socky, Avigam or Tocket and Vela. Agus fiú gamó go gcuirimis na ceist na searan hain. Tá dúchláin roin, agus daoine ar bheala, chuig na Ghaeilge. Cáimid ar sean slitse a ceartú, agus a céirstú, agus seachtar slitse agus ar bhóna nua, chun ar nád an teangar a scapú, agus an tiiscint a tagan faoin na lúg, dar tíreags dar soci a spréige go fuir lehan. Is fuin an freagracht seo a lácha mar a gloch an Ghairdín weicas. Alcoileacha ha freagracht ar éin ag dar an níostíag. Fiú fuin atá sé. Físin dá jangachas nún ilhangachas íru man selta lehúla. Mar atá sib sé déanamh in ar slitse súile. Mar Uachtaráin a héireann is min lam tris lúliamh ar fad agus buicas ó críogáilibh dá bhár. Maracal Square is min lam a weekes a car a ningul dov shoot a with the glyn con a kosher shot or actile. Oh, of course this shims up that. And I want to say to all of these entertainers and all of the people, they're not simply entertaining in one part of life. This is the creativity that is the greatest strength that Ireland has. It's about what we inherit from tradition, what we can imagine today. And it is why we will be able to participate with every other country in the region that is Europe and in the world with confidence because we value imagination. Sauliacht, Crohiacht, Sheepnafaklatokart. And it is interesting that they are all more beautiful words in Irish because we can in fact put a name. We have several words for what is close to us, and we link that sense of correspondence with nature with our new global responsibilities. And isn't it wonderful, therefore, that we now move on? I want to thank the Tralla Pipe Band. I want to thank Cork Tralla Pipe Band. I've heard more than once this year. I want to thank Cór Cooley and Padre Óráid, who brings such a pleasure to welcome to our Uachtaráin for all that he represents and all that he stands for and that Cooley and Ballyvourney stands for. I want to thank Keela. And isn't it wonderful to think when you look at it, Seolin are out from under any shadows of censorship or authoritarianism or restriction or anything else. They're actually wonderful, and it is therefore that, and they're recognised as such. Jamie O'Connor has been playing the piano, and several times in the last fortnight we've heard Colm and Rory O'Harragon and Padre Gogmach Ercagon a bhíag shins na Ghairdín. Taravis Ghairdín may Borúch have been playing earlier on, Reverend Bostock, and I think that as well as that, all of this is made possible by a wonderful, wonderful master of sound, D. Rogers. Where is he? He's taking a bow over here. I want to thank the John of God's volunteers, Emmeline Kennedy, Pat McLaughlin and Louise Crowley for their help with the programmes. Our civil defence colleagues, this is the second last garden party, and they've been with us right through. I want to thank the Ghairdín and Aram, agus ifig na Naibre Capabli, Asachtan Hybre. And I want to above all the young people from Ghaeilge who have been of assistance to us. But as I look around in dealing with any circumstance and any weather, the wonderful staff in Áras and Uachtaráin who they themselves, I can tell you, they'll be practicing Tá rangan ar siúl san áras faoi láthair ar gá leibhéal. So, náidin darnad ná seans a hógans. Tá bhuireann mar gúid na san áras tar éis tút faoi rangan a Ghaeilge le cúpla míonús agus béisi ré. Mar a míad agus tá bhuiachtas san obair ar fada tá deantacha idir an bí ar fada réiteach agus a caradóthe. Is mílam ar bhuicas críol a gháil Glifse go léir colódar an Ghaeilge, teachta niu agus as an méid atá deanta, agus atá le déanamh agah ar san na teanga. Tá neartach in libh mochtas as af mar a gúit mé, ó spragan a Ghaeilge sa ceathrú gáteachta méil feriste go oscailt an dearán scaile hUigínn Óráid, dulchan cíntíide cethar a luach, go fás olahhuir san éile bhí scolir trabhán na Ghaeilge sa fud na tíre. Ó na mílte dégóir atá freistal atá moltasach ar choláistí saoire faoi leathair chun an meon dearafach atá dí hir a léirú ag an pobl generáilte eile na teangain. Ach an Ghaeilge úsáid níos leithin agus is mó. Is cinnte bhfuil dúrán mór a roiin mada leis an Ghaeilge, ach tá neart ábhar mistig dúin ina deanta. Tá sé fíortháfachtach go leanis si bharid ag chaspont ceanna síochta in or céalta chun sprág a thuairt á céile. Bheith cnasta le céile. Agus do gine eile an Ghaeilge, daoine tá Genevíreacht tíochta steach an Ghaeilge, a Genevíreacht an cúpla facail le leathanna, agus í úsáid agus í álam. Bígéir ar thuaithnes agus bunny teanmh as an cuideine an trónólinin, agus as an geol iantach atá le teacht, is gar a míle agus ach éisteacht an Berbanacht, come on.